Hey, brother, we lit. We on.
Awesome, amazing, phenomenal. Been looking forward to this
Yes,
all
sir.
week. All week. Today we're gonna flip the script.
yeah. Let's get to it.
Yeah, we're gonna put you in the guest seat today.
All right.
And just get to learn a little bit more about the man behind the movement.
Okay.
And your journey to where you are,
Okay.
and what do you want to see from all of the initiatives that you have. So
Let's get to it.
let's start off with let's take people to where you are now.
Okay.
So where you are right now in real estate. Um, I know this is gonna be hard for you, so I'm gonna push you right at the beginning.
Let's go.
Give me your brag bank.
Bragg Bank.
Yeah, give
Uh,
me get let the people know who you are.
ah. All right. Shoot, man. All right. Real estate. Let's talk about the business.
Yep.
So I've been in real estate full time about 4 years, total about 9. Um, to this point, I think we've cleared over 300 units.
Okay.
Um, we're in our own space now, so
Okay.
like in our own building. Using this building to facilitate change in the community. Is everything that's in alignment with the vision.
Mm-hmm.
So utilizing everything that my clients have afforded me this opportunity to kind of pour back and give back to people. So we started giving back in so many different ways. I use the leverage, the time that this job has given me to pour back, whether it's coaching kids in local sports, getting involved in mentorship programs,
Mm-hmm.
putting shoes, the shoe initiative like kicked off 2019. So getting kids shoes for back to school. With that, I think we probably hit over
Wow.
500 kids
Wow.
total since we've been doing it. Um, yeah, man, I don't know. Like, got a team now, like learning how to run the business, and treating it like sports. So
Yeah.
running a real team, and a lot of people don't know what that means. I'm learning as well, so I'm not going to sit here and act like I got it all figured out. Uh, Taking it a day at a time, and just the right people make it all possible.
Yeah.
Allowing grace for growth, understanding. So I'm grateful for my team to allow me to keep doing what we're doing. I wouldn't be able to do any of this at this point without them. So we have vision to just keep growing. So if you like what we're doing, man, we always interviewing.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell me, you said that business is like a sport. And one of the things that any athlete can tell you is that the sport reveals to you who you really are through the layers of adversity you have to overcome
Hmm.
in order to obtain or acquire victory. So, what has this sport of business revealed to you about you?
Oh man, it's always another level. You're never there. You just never there. And we set goals. Goals are just like waypoints
Mm-hmm.
on an infinite road. And it's kind of like just at this point running up the score. And it's not just for me. It's saying like, what can I do, or what am I doing, and how is it going to impact other people?
Mm-hmm.
Um, in this sport, I learned early that I hit like a low threshold because just in the material world, um, everything I wanted to get, I got it,
Mm-hmm.
and the game started losing steam. It was like, I kind of reached this point of like just being stagnant, and like I'm cool. I hit my
Mm-hmm.
level. I'm good. But I'm watching the world move around me, and just life experiences has shown me like, man, if you just gonna walk around here and not help anybody, you're gonna eventually start looking like food.
Yeah.
So I have my children. They're my chief concern, and it's like, what world am I going to leave them to inherit?
Yeah.
And if I'm not doing anything to impact their worlds or make it better for them, because that's the goal, like to leave this place better than we found it. So the way I see it is, If we create more opportunities, more awareness, more experiences for people to want to push the threshold and live more on the edge because it's something they're after, teaching people how to dream, I think that is the big part of the game that I'm running now. Like getting people to use their own cognitive abilities to believe in the things that they actually think can actually happen.
Yeah, yeah. So that was a great point. So you talked about how it was almost effortless for you to obtain the material side,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Now, then you found that the material side, once you obtained it, you still had a desire or urge or a lack of fulfillment in there.
Hmm.
What does that feel like to have what everybody says they want only to get to that destination and to find out that it's not all that it's cracked up to be?
It's disappointing. Like it's truly disappointing, and you'll walk that long road. And some people get there. I'm just gonna speak on me. Like I got there, and everything that I thought was going to be like money's going to solve all my worldly problems. It just didn't show up that way. It just was a big curveball. Um, I did the things I did because I'm like a innate people pleaser,
Mm-hmm.
and that's something that I'm always trying to work on. Because I just want people around me to be happy and feel good, but I
Right.
won't compromise myself to do that. So getting everything that I dreamed of is like what's left. And then that's when you start looking outside of like inside of yourself, like what is making me tick because I accomplished these things. Like how can I impact the next man or make things better for other people? And that's when I started getting fulfillment of just seeing like that glimmer of hope or desire or passion get ignited in other people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I have I've been blessed with the vision to see like, okay, this is the game plan. This is the blueprint. I got the whole chalkboard on the wall. And it's kind of like playing chess. Like, hey man,
Mm-hmm.
let me serve as a guide. I don't want to tell you what to do, but I want you to arrive at what you know to be true for you. So if I help kind of like help them navigate the chaos that they're going through and they finally hit that spark like, I got it. Then I watch that and like that's inspiring, that's fulfilling for me. And it's like I feel like it's my job to kind of like put people on their paths. And once they're going, they're going. And then they're going to do things on their path that may help come back and help
Right.
me further along on mine. So I think just being connected to other people um, brought me back to the reality because, yeah, we get isolated on this individual race of, I'm going to do this. And you go on that lonely island by yourself and you get there and you realize, like, oh, it's lonely. Like, I traveled, what J. Cole said, like, I went a long way, but the bad news, I went the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
realized that, like, man, no, you got to stay. When you start to cross those boundaries and those lines, you got to stay locked on with your people because that's where your strength is. Well, that's where my strength resides.
Yeah, yeah. And so when you talk about putting people on their paths, I mean, there's a lot of people in this area in this market
Mm-hmm.
who you've had some level of influence in their growth or their prominence in the real estate world behind the scenes without a lot of people even knowing, or maybe sometimes without always getting your just due. How do you continue to have such an open heart and want to serve and lead others, even when sometimes it hasn't always worked out to your benefit?
I think that just goes back to the last question you asked. Like, we don't know what the end looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And so understanding what delayed gratification looks like, you just got to be pure in your intentions.
Yep.
Just remain pure in what you're doing. Like, so for me, I help because that's something that I want to do. Anything that comes from it is a byproduct.
Yep.
So whether you leave and go and scream my name to the high heavens or you just don't, like your success lets me know that I did my part.
Right.
And that's fulfillment enough for me. Like, um, to be honest, like I don't really like to be on the scene.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
so it makes it easier for me because I got a lot of preparation to do to gear up, at least I believe, for that the notoriety, that everything that comes along with it. So it just makes it easier for me. I just want people to just get in their lanes and do what they're supposed to do. And like when people are able to take care of themselves, that alleviates a lot of stress for me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that means I don't have to do it.
Yeah. So now let's take us all the way back, because now I see we can hear the vision, we can hear the purity, which is why I wanted to ask these questions. And we could see that there's impact. We could see that there's high levels of success, goals being accomplished, community being reached. So did this come because you grew up around this and you just had the perfect examples of what this was supposed to be, and you are just walking in like this was a natural progression for your life from early on? We could look at you, we could look at your early living situation, we could look at your early environment and be like, yes, he's gonna be the one.
I don't know. I always felt this way. Like I
Yeah.
always, and that's why it's kind of, I don't know, takes me back because I've always been like this.
Yeah.
So, but always being this way and being overlooked in the same breath, like same sight. So,
So talk about that overlooked, because that's the part that I think a lot of people who have this calling that they're meant to impact the world, they aren't always the most popular. They aren't always the first chosen. They aren't always the ones who are the favorites. So to know that you have this gift, to know that you have this ability to impact, and to have to maneuver through knowing the value you have, but not always having that value recognized. And I'm asking this because I know you have a wide audience of individuals who will tune into this, whether they're in the military and they're making sacrifices for a country that may not always show the appreciation, or they're entrepreneurs at large who have solutions that could really change other people's lives and they just don't get the recognition, or they're other real estate agents who are like, okay, I know that I have a unique spin on how we could impact the legacies of people's lives, but nobody seems to notice but me. So I want you to kind of be their voice in the microphone to say like, all right, this is what that experience is like, and this is how I navigate through that.
oh man, so this is loaded. But to just keep it real simple, there you can never say the wrong things to the right person. So the right people, they are waiting for you. I heard this statement, this saying that, you know, for every one of us, we have a tribe of 250,000 people in the world, and it's our job to find these people. And if we aren't radiating, it's going to be extremely difficult for these people to find us. And when I say radiating, we have to profess, we have to say what it is that we see, that we know internally. And despite the world, everybody, your neighbor may not recognizing it, we have to come to a place where we're so comfortable, we're so sure of what we know to be true that we got to say it regardless. And there are going to be a lot of people who are going to talk you down. And I want to say like trauma, like just going through life. And there may be things that happen to you as a kid that just cause you to mute your voice. But I encourage you, just like if you have something that you know, just say it, just do it, just act on it. And the more you're in motion, the more that gravitational pull that you have, and it's going to start attracting things. And it's almost like it's coincidental, but it's not. It's just coinciding with purpose.
Yeah,
And
that's good.
when you walking with that, I mean that the laws of attraction, like just reading all these what people think is like, I don't know, strange, weird books, these texts, but I believe wholeheartedly these things exist. And when you start moving in that manner, the things that you know to be true are going to start showing up. The people are going to show up. The impact is going to start showing up, and it's only going to get better and better as you refine it through practice, through repetition. Um, so yeah, that's
Yeah, nah, that's amazing. That's an amazing take on that because, as you stated, it's. I think people think that first people will come, and then I will like find my voice.
mm,
You know what I mean? Like the people will come, and then I'm gonna like I'll start saying who I am once people start validating that this is who I am,
yeah,
as opposed to like I'm gonna start professing right now, and as I'm professing, like you said, it's gonna attract the people who find some level of recognition or who this message resonates with,
mm-hmm,
right? And so you moving through the world authentically allows individuals who are in alignment with that authenticity to find you
yeah,
and to find a home in your authenticity,
right,
right? That you give other people permission to be themselves when you step up and you show up like who you are,
right,
right?
right,
And the other part of that is you talked about it's coinciding with purpose, and that idea that purpose and identity are closely connected,
mm-hmm,
that the purpose of a thing is tied to the identity of a thing,
mm,
that when I can identify who I am, then I can show up in confidence knowing why I'm here and what I'm made to do,
mm-hmm.
right? So in your journey of how, let me ask you this: how would you identify yourself now?
Oh man. So, and this is like something I had to stumble on because I was like locking myself into being one thing,
Yeah,
and now I'm understanding like, hey man, you got multiple identities.
yeah,
You're a father, you're a husband, you're a coach, you're a mentor, you're a realtor, you're a businessman, you're a Navy veteran, you're all of these things, and those identities resonate with so many different people. I thought I had to be one way, and then trying to just conform to the ways of the world. I thought it was just like, oh, I'm just straight cookie cutter. I gotta be a certain way. I can't use improper grammar. I can't look a certain way. I have to, and I just it was killing me. It was suppressing who I really was because I thought I had to conform to one thing and be a certain way. And a part of that trauma is just like trying to escape the trap,
yeah,
just get out of the situation that has claimed so many of my friends is growing up. So just looking at the paths, and it was like always you got to be different than that. You have to be different, and different showed up differently for me. I went through so many changes, and then that isolation of trying to find myself, and only to be in solitude. And solitude just made me feel like it was good because I had the time and the space to clear my mind and understand who I am and what I'm all about and what my purpose is or what I'm called to do, only to come back and have the conviction to say, hey, I'm standing on this. Like
mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do whatever it takes. Like I had people say, if you're not willing to, I don't know, I don't want to sound so grave, but if you're not willing to die for this, then that's not your purpose.
Yeah,
And or you're not willing to sacrifice some of the most things. And now I'm looking at how not only do I sacrifice, but my family sacrifices. And not to get too biblical, but
yeah,
I've seen a lot of those stories resonate or parallel. And so that kind of gives me the confidence to keep moving. Like I see Job, I see Joseph, I see
yeah,
these guys, and it's like, oh, all right, this ain't nowhere near as bad as that, so I'm all right. Or if it comes down to it, my conviction is so strong because I know that I'm helping people.
yeah,
So yeah.
yeah, yeah. And so you know what I heard there in all of that you listed, that the hub of which you father, husband, Navy veteran, coach, business person, real estate agent, realtor, like all of that ties back to your leader.
Mm, yeah, that's a heavy hat, bro, and it's not always comfortable. Like, ooh, sometimes I look up I'm like, God, why me, man? Like, why me? And then again, being that goes back to being overlooked and like this is somebody else's job. Like I'm nobody, right? But he keeps revealing stuff, and it's like, nah, you the one. And like it goes back to like you can only be that chosen one if you choose to be.
Yeah.
You can run away from it, and some things just won't happen, or you can stand in it and be like, nah, this is my job.
Yeah.
I'm called for this.
Yeah.
And walking with that conviction, that's when the earth really start moving for you.
Yeah. And you know, you said not to get too biblical or not. I'm gonna get biblical for a quick second.
Go ahead.
Is a verse that I always point to where it says, earth is groaning in earnest expectation, awaiting for the manifestation of the sons of God. Right? Pretty much saying like earth is waiting for us to become who we're made to be. Like the manifestation or the is not that it's not like you have to be made. It's like you're already that. It's just waiting for you to reveal who you are. And so when you say like, yeah, like earth follows suit, that's a real thing. That earth follows like, yo, I've been waiting for you to step into this joint so that I could give you all of these things that you're supposed to have, and I could bring you what you're supposed to have. But I'm waiting for you because inside of you there's a healing of somebody else's pain.
Ooh, and that's something that I'm learning too.
Yeah.
I have so many experiences that I claimed as my own, but our stories are not for us.
Yeah.
These stories are meant to be shared to help alleviate somebody else's pain, give them a way ahead, give them a path, give them something to hold on to so they can move themselves out of their situations. Our stories are made to be shared, but just the complexion of society, it makes you want to put a muzzle on yourself because, oh, I'm bragging, or nobody wants to hear about my stuff, when we really live communal.
Yeah.
And we shared everything, including story, including experiences. But now we move into this world more so of isolation, where we are reluctant to sharing the part of the story that leads to that success that we're glamorizing. So people are lost because they have no clue how you actually reached whatever pinnacle that you're promoting on our social medias or whatever avenues that we're using to communicate. Nobody knows the backstory. And since we're reluctant to telling the Black's backstory, a lot of people are stuck. They're left frustrated. They're feeling hopeless and all of these things, when sometimes it's our stories that we're claiming as our own that are meant for somebody else to hear, that can unlock all of that.
Yeah. And so when you talk about your stories and how it benefits others, there's the 30 for 30 initiative that we have going on right now, that the office has going on right now. And so how does that, the 30 for 30, one, let them people know what 30 for 30 is, and two, how does that tie back into your story? How is your story influencing this 30 for 30 initiative and the sneaker drive where you just gave away over 150 sneakers? Like, all these things that you do for the community, where does your story find its placing? Like you said, that it's not meant for you. Where does your story find its placement in what you do for the community?
Oh man, so I'm gonna start with like again, I talk in parables, and it's always something that just kind of like give me an aha moment. And there was this one story where there were travelers who were coming to a city, and there was this gatekeeper at the gate. And when people arrived to the city, they said, "Hey, I heard this city is full of crime, and is it true?" And the gatekeeper said, he just nodded his head, yeah. And then so those travelers went on about their way. The next group of travelers came up, and they said, "Hey, I heard this city is full of like positivity and good people and all of this stuff." And he just shook his head, yeah. And the kids who were there, they kind of observed him nod his head to both people, and they said, "You lied to those people." And he said, "The world is what you make it, is what you believe it to be. So if you come and say this, then that's what you're going to attract." So the people that stayed, and that's why the city was the way it was. It was because of the inhabitants. So tying it back into these initiatives, these campaigns that we put together, my mindset is centered around, I'm using real estate to invigorate the community. And if I'm being frank, like, real estate has afforded me a lot of leverage, a lot of capital to do things beyond my wildest dreams. Like,
Mm-hmm.
man, be a homeowner, to um, have a car that I don't have to worry about the maintenance, and
Right.
like I don't have limitations on how far I can travel because of my car may fail on me, or um, just things to operate and put not only myself in a good position but other people. So I'm using the influence that I have and the capital that is garnered from people who believe in the vision, and I want to show people like what we can do when we work together as a collective. So a part of the proceeds of all of the transactions that we do is going to some initiative that's going to help other people.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's important because that's when people understand. I have to show by example. You hear a lot of people talk about what they're going to do, but we don't have true examples of what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to be that guy that just says like, this is how we do it.
Yeah.
This is 1 plus 1. This is basic arithmetic. If this comes in, this is going to come out. And while everybody's worried about, which direction the world is moving, they really don't have a clear understanding of the decisions that we make impact everything. If you don't say something when you see something's wrong, if you don't act in a manner when you can correct anything, then the world is going to go by default. So we're in a state where good people can no longer just sit back and let stuff happen. I think that's the reason why we're in this state that we're in. Too many good people were afraid of the machine to, you know, buck against it and say, no, like I'm not letting that go down, or this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to impact. And we don't. Our leaders have been silenced for whatever reason,
Mm.
and nobody wants to stand up and stick their neck out and say this is how we're going to do it. Um, I do understand the risk. Yeah, I look at history, but at the same time, like you got to move with that conviction. Like this, what it is. If I'm not doing this, what am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
So going back to the campaigns and the 30 for 30, um, our goal is to serve 30 families before the holidays. We want to make sure we get 30 families at least under contract before Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
And along with that, our initial number was, hey, Diggs by Diggs is going to take care of 30 families, holiday meal or something of that sort. But again, the attraction power of partnerships, we started to speak with people who are in alignment with what it is that we want to do. So it started out as a 30 for 30, but we have quite a few initiatives that are going to spin off of what we initially started. So
Mm-hmm.
we like the name 30 for 30. That's how it started. But again, making those initial steps in order to get something going attracted more people, and now we're going to go for a bigger impact. So just stay tuned for that.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. And so with this campaign, um, 30 for 30, looking to get 30 people into homes before the holidays, and also wanting to serve others in that process. I know there were some great incentives that were in a line for the community to help out. And like you said, we have to work as a unit and not in silos. And so this requires partnership in order
Mm-hmm.
for it to work effectively. And so to incentivize others to contribute to this cause, what were some of the incentives that you all came up with?
Okay, yeah. So for any referral that you throw our way, we are giving people the opportunity to win $1,500 cash to go to whatever they want for the holidays, whether it's buy a trip, Christmas shopping, anything like that. But we're going to do a raffle for anyone who sends a referral. Doesn't have to close anything like that, but just saying our names, we'll give you an opportunity to enter a raffle to where we're going to give away that $1,500 cash prize.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And I know for you, honoring others is such a big thing, and celebrating others is such a big thing. And you have your military background with that. And so, what initiatives with the 30 for 30 do you have that kind of tie back to, where where you're from?
So, um, just thinking about just the military in general, how it showed me what it means to be on a real team, to to unblur the lines, these partitions that people put between demographics, race, where you're from, all of this stuff was blurred from the military. I mean, unblurred. It was made clear, crystal clear, like we're all one. We want the same things. And some of the basic things, like going into the holiday periods, I'm looking at years ago when I didn't have the money, and some just people are under this illusion that military has money, they're rich, they got it all figured out, and it's a process. But even with that, I still think that for what they contribute, the pay it pales in comparison. And but for those junior guys who aren't able to get home for the holidays, I wanted to provide a place for them if they can't get home. We wanted to set up like a dinner for them to maybe come and hang out and be around some good people that they can feel like they have a home away from home. Like while these people are here, we have to treat them like this is a second home for them. So we wanted to provide dinner for them as well. We're also looking at opportunities to maybe corral some funds to get a few junior guys home for the holiday, get some funds to get flights out so that they can be amongst people that they love and care for, and give them that reset and help them to remind them about purpose, and focus on why they do the things they're doing. So my own experiences helped to pull me back to those tethers that I had when I didn't have the means, and there was always somebody who looked out for me in that capacity. Shout out to the Naval Academy sponsorship program, as well as anybody who just has a hand in just understanding the rigors and the strain that it puts on some young kid being so far away from home and just want to feel like they belong somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, that's beautiful, man. That's beautiful, and I know that one of the things that you guys have been doing really, really well with, and keeping in lockstep with what you just said, is getting these young military individuals into into not just home ownership, but starting their journey into real estate investing
Mm-hmm.
early after graduation.
Mm.
Tell me what that process has been like, and I know there's like a success story, two success stories
Oh yeah, those are recent
that
ones.
that just happened. So what's that like?
Oh man. Again, just understanding our stories are not our stories to keep. We got to relay them to people so that they can get a better understanding, so we can make it better for the next group. So, looking at our Naval Academy 2024 grads, just moving into the area, not really knowing what it's like to be a brand new adult. Like, being in the academy, everything is regimented. Every minute of your life is accounted for from the time you arrive to you graduate. And then you're in the world. And those guys didn't have anyone to latch on to and to help them navigate what it looks like and what the journey looks like. But being afforded the VA loan is a great jump start with zero down payment, and our agents negotiating additional costs so that they came to the table actually getting some of their debt paid off. So that put them in a great space, and now they're in a position to where they're not paying rent, but accruing equity by paying down their principal every month, because we have to have somewhere to stay. And now just teaching them what this looks like over a course of 1 year, 3 year, 5 years, the course of their career, and what having that ownership and that, I don't want to call it an asset, but people gonna fight me for that. But we will call it an asset for the sake of this conversation.
Yeah,
Like when they decide to move and now they are getting paid a check,
yeah,
and able to roll that over to the next property, make a business decision, anything. But it's just teaching them what it takes to start initiating the steps for wealth, growing wealth over the course of time.
yeah, yeah. That's amazing. And then I know on your team you guys have the philosophy of helping some of these individuals with the house hacking
Oh yeah.
conversation,
Uh,
right? So where it's not just about you owning a home, but it's positioning you to have additional streams of income
Mm-hmm.
outside of what you do in serving our country. So, um,
Teamwork makes the dream work, man. So not everybody has the desire to be a homeowner. Yes, I don't want to paint this perfect picture that they don't have their downsides. Everything is, has risk is associated. And some people, until they actually see it, are going to be risk averse. And that's okay because you make an incentive for those guys. With these recent graduates, they have friends that are similar age, marital status, they are single, just, kind of young. So with that being said, they group up and live in the same house. One person gets the mortgage and he discounts the rent for them. Rent is crazy, so they rent by the room. This helps the homeowner out because they're paying down his principal. It helps the roommates out because they're paying a discounted rent. So when he looks at a $2,000 mortgage and he has a 3-bedroom home and two people are paying $1,000 for rent, his mortgage is paid, and now he gets to keep his check to do other things. Their BAH is more than $1,000, so they get to keep the difference in their pockets. So it's a win-win situation like that we're teaching these guys.
yeah, yeah, that's good stuff. So now let's say somebody's watching this, right? And um, you just said teamwork make the dream work. And so you have some very strong agents. You all just hit a big win. You set a big goal. You hit that big goal here recently.
Yeah.
All right. What do you look for when you're looking for someone to join the team to help you guys to move your initiatives through the community? What are you looking for individuals who want to get not just in a career, but who kind of see this as a calling as well?
Oh man, pretty much I want people who are looking, while they're looking for help, they're also helping themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is you got to be willing to put in the time that it takes. It's not as free as people wants to believe. Like, oh, I get to make my own schedule. I get to work certain hours. Like, you have to be disciplined to work hours. You have to research. You have to read. You have to be in proximity with people that know. You can't successfully do this on an island, especially when you don't have the network. So anybody who's willing to learn shows the ability to be resourceful, because not everything is going to just show up black and white cookie cutter. You're going to have to figure some stuff out. High critical thinking ability. We're problem solvers. Like, people come to you with problems daily. Life just doesn't always work out perfectly. For me, there's no job that I know I can't do. And just to give this example, just yesterday, I went to go clean out a nasty toilet, real nasty toilet. This place was abandoned, and some kind of way this toilet backed up, and stuff was everywhere. My client is out of state. They had no way to get it done. They're in a pinch, facing financial hardships. They don't have the capital, but they have equity in a home. And it's like, hey man, I'm going to do what I can do to help you get this thing on the market right now. And it's in this market, in this world, it's just tough to find good help. So with everything being on the line, it's like, man, I'm able-bodied, bro. I can knock something out. Not a janitor, but when situations call for it, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. So when we're talking about people who I'm looking for, I want those type of people, to where there's no job that's beneath them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I hear this. I'm like, yo, B, that's me. I'm hungry. I'm willing to put in the work. I'm willing to make the sacrifices. I have my own goals and aspirations. I'm connected to the community. I'm willing to put in the long hours. I'm willing to do the humble work. I want to become a part of your team. I hear the success that you're having. I hear how while everybody else is saying that they're not selling houses, you guys are pumping out sales. I see that you have this healthy listing list right now of clients who you're matchmaking between your buying clients and your selling clients, and I want to be a part of that. How do I get in touch with you? How do I find out? How do I apply for this opportunity?
Oh man, so I'm always around, but you can hit me directly. Like my phone number is public information. I'm gonna hit it 757-921-1312. I answer my phone. I answer text messages. Like you can send me an email as well. Diggbran, DIGGBRAN @gmail.com. You can also find me on every social media platform: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Like I'm there. Brandon Diggs, Instagram, Diggy Knows. Same thing for TikTok. Yeah, I'm there. YouTube, like I'm there. You can direct message me, and we can set up a consultation to talk about what this thing looks like for you.
Perfect. Any final words you want to say to the people?
Man, look, you put me on the spot with this.
It didn't feel hard though, right?
Nah, but you know me, like this nerve wracking for me. So y'all, if I look crazy on this all impromptu, but it's all love. Like I'm learning, I'm growing, and I encourage anybody else who has like a vision, just act on it, like just do it, and it's gonna all shake out for you.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Cool, man.
Cool. Well, man, I appreciate that. Before you can stop.
Oh.
I'm gonna just try to get